BBLs is a cosmetic surgery that is meant to enhance the butt. Also, it is meant to snatch the waist. Some people call it like your mommy makeover and things of that nature. It's really big in hip hop culture as well as social media influencer culture, known for like artists or influencers like Ari Fletcher, artists like Megan Thee Stallion, and JT from the City Girls, as well as Young Miami. In regards to Sarah Bartman and how she was treated in regards to this kind of body type, I would say she was treated very inhumane, as well as just treated horribly or less than the average woman, only because of the fact that her body type was so vastly different from the regular European standard that men seen at that time. I feel like she was used as a sex commodity. If you know any more about her story than what was presented in the video, her body was used for things that should not have been used for. As far as what they call her, I feel like they just didn't see her as a human being. They kind of looked at her like an alien in a sense, like somebody like unnatural. So weight in correlation to attractiveness, I would say it is still a big thing in today's society that weight is part of how attractive you are. Even being overweight is still seen as a negative connotation, like, oh, you're never gonna get a man the way you look. But you know, if you're too skinny, as per se in African American culture, then how are you supposed to get a man? A man likes something to hold at night, per se. But in mainstream culture, I would say it is definitely still the big thing to be slim, because just like in the fashion industry, still, especially, even though it has kind of been more lenient towards other body types and other races, it's still more geared towards slimmer bodied women, because that's just been the ideal for how long in high fashion, especially in runway modeling gigs, or even photography. And most magazine editorials, women's photos are heavily edited still to make them this idea of, I guess, Western perfection. BBL and the image it holds on society, I would say it does kind of ruin the self-esteem of girls like my age, 20, like between like even young in high school or even middle school at this point. You know, social media has been given to kids at such young ages, and they're exposed to so many different things, and when you're developing, you're very influential on what's going on about the adults you see, or even the famous influencers that you like. You're very influenced by these people, so you know it kind of can ruin a person's mindset or a woman's mindset to be like, to have this snatched waist and this big butt that this person paid for. It's not natural. They had to go pay somebody to do that. So in their minds, they're like, okay, I have to look like this in order to get somewhere, but it's not true. So I feel like BBLs have kind of geared everything away from being natural, and just, you know, you have to be man-made in order to be accepted, which isn't true. And it's kind of like infesting the mindset of young girls and making it feel like, okay, if I don't look like this, then I'm not gonna make it, or I'm not gonna get a man, you know, things of that nature. BBL enhancements, does it affect your income and status as well as your dating? Yes and no. It depends on the culture that, or your whatever you're geared towards. If you want an African American man, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get more luck with a BBL, because a lot of African American men love women who got that juicy booty. Now, as far as like income, I don't really think it affects your income or your status, really. It all depends on what you're going for and what you're looking for. That's just my opinion. My final thoughts, Personally, all my thoughts remain the same about BBLs. I don't really care for them. I feel like people as a whole should learn to naturally love themselves. You know, it's all cool to have enhancements. Cool if you want the surgery. If it's gonna make you feel better, and that's like your last resort outside of exercising and you know, trying to take the natural way, or like eating your protein every day, you know, or getting your carbs in, whatever, then fine, yeah, do it. But I just feel like the risk in it is it outweighs so much than the results, because at the end of the day, if you're not one of those people who's willing to maintain the surgery, then don't get it, because you're going to go right back to being overweight, because you know when you get the surgery it sucks out your fat as well, and that's in your butt, and you're back to being overweight, then you're back to being unhappy. As well as, you know, it doesn't really fix your internal issues with insecurities and self-esteem. You have to start with yourself. So BBLs to me is not that of a beneficiary to me if you are a person who's not already in a mental state to be really confident no matter what you do to yourself. And those are just my thoughts.